We got tons of good things going on. We're already at halfway through the goal, which is great.
Whoa.
Well, I know it was like, okay.
It's like great.
We're already 129.
All right, thanks.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is fun. Bye.
Oh,
Here he is.
There he is, our god.
My internet died.
Oh. How you doing, Nick? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Oh, we got music. The music is back.
I've never felt better.
That's fantastic.
And I can tell that's radiating off of you.
And Ragweed is really feeling it behind
Oh,
us.
Ragweed.
Ragweed is there. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Got ragweed there. That's the Hatchetfield sign. You can't see it, but the black book is up here. From
No,
the-
we can't see it, but
No,
I
but I
believe
feel
it.
it.
You've already passed the amount of the original production raise.
Whoa,
Whoa,
we
really?
already
That's
passed
pretty
the amount the original
crazy.
production
Oh,
raised.
my God.
We
Is-
did?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I guess.
Wow.
I guess I'm gonna go scream through the streets
Man,
because that's so
I'm
crazy.
running around somewhere.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well, today we're gonna.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. We're in the same outfit. I'm also wearing the same outfit that I wore in the Kickstarter video. So it's kind of
He hasn't
I
changed
noticed that
anyone.
too.
I haven't
Yeah.
changed.
I am too.
No, I have changed my clothes.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Will from work here. I am gonna play Professor Higgins in this show. I'm so excited. I'll take some pointers. I need to watch your Higgins.
Oh, don't worry about it.
You should watch my Higgins.
Yeah.
My Higgins.
Okay,
No.
yeah. Mariah
Inspired.
Higgins.
We were going, okay, who's everybody's dream Higgins, and everyone was like, oh, Will Branner. So we're so lucky
happy
to
it
get-
worked out. Like, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Party House anymore.
It died.
Party House is dead.
Party
Party House is fucking dead. I play.
You can do it. You can
I
do it.
know.
Are you woman at all in the show?
Woman, and I was thinking about this today. Woman is not in Skyline.
Well, we'll see about
Hey.
this
Oh.
production.
There's
Maybe
no
women will
If
show
you
up.
raise $5 million, you can put woman.
Will be-
Woman.
War on woman.
So if we raise $8 million, we'll make a movie.
You really
Yeah,
should.
the movie.
Yeah.
I think it'd take $100 million
I think it would.
because
I think to do what we want
To do what we want.
with the musical numbers.
really it should be the whole town dancing, you know, like a giant
Yeah.
studio lot and all that. Of course, we don't have the whole team because many members, core members of this cast and team
Yes.
are in London right now doing a concert. The I Can't Believe It's Been a Little Less Than a Year concert.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lopez, and I will be playing Emma Perkins. And
And you'll direct.
okay, wait, are we doing it then? Okay, you're not gonna use the bit. Oh, it's fine.
No, we're gonna use the
He's not gonna use the bit.
It was the best video I've ever seen in my life.
When we made that video, she was so convinced that I wasn't going to use that bit of her not knowing that she was going to direct the show.
So funny.
But there you go. I used the bit.
And you
We're
saw
all
it.
better for it.
Lauren has a voice that she uses when she's getting everyone's attention.
Oh.
She goes,
Oh, yeah.
Guys!
Where she goes into falsetto to
Yeah.
save her voice. She's like,
Okay, everybody!
and that makes me just lock in.
Yeah, me
if I hear
too.
That voice.
Yeah.
Nick, the chat wants to know if you took that nap.
No, I
I love that you guys included.
That's why I'm
real
drinking all this
conversations
coffee.
That's been had.
That was 100% real.
I love that you took it right from the books.
I've been going nonstop since Cinderella.
I
I've
know
been
you have.
getting
Yeah.
Cinderella. I've been working nonstop for a year.
And really, the more money we get, the more arms Doug gets for the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I need 83 arms,
Yeah.
or I'm walking.
You know what? Do you guys remember when we were choreographing the original Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals and we had to cut the human train?
The train.
Can I talk
The
about
train.
this?
Yes.
Yes. Let's talk about the human train.
All right. Let's set the
Wait,
record.
I need all the lore. I need all.
Yeah.
So coming up with the opening number of the, I was given the song. I was like, okay, there's a lot to work with here. and there was a specific part where I was like, what am I gonna do with this section? It's just like very percussive, and it sounds like chicka, 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 chicka. So I was like, okay, we're gonna make a train out of the entire ensemble, and we're gonna work really hard to do it. And I got everyone in their place. And then I was even sent videos when I couldn't be at rehearsal about everyone doing it and putting it together. And then I got a text message one day saying, hey, we cut that part.
So sorry. And it was during the part of, did you hear the word? What's the word? The word. He's a coming. Who's a coming? And that part used to be like much longer.
Yeah.
Like Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals is probably one of the shows, I don't know if you guys remember this, that we cut the most down during the rehearsal process. We cut a song, an entire song from the original Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals that was a song that was going to be a news person song called A Meteor Hits. That was A Meteor Hits, giving Hatchfield fits. And then that song eventually was rewritten to become the Wiggly Jingle in Black Friday. He's a wiggly wig and a wiggly wiggly, you know? So,
you know that one.
If you watch the show, after the first number, there's the opening number, and then there is no music in the show until the meteor shows up. Because we said we wanted it to be quiet, like just office noise and the street noise and things like that, because this is a world with no music. And then as soon as the meteor's coming in through the sky, that's when the underscoring starts.
When I was prepping the script for licensing, to license the show out, I had to cut it down so that it matched the YouTube version. And I just forgot these the scenes went on for like twice as long. There were giant monologues that were completely removed. McNamara had a giant monologue that we were just holding on to, and we did not want to cut, but it should have been cut. And then like Bill talked forever, and we set up more stuff for Black Friday, but it was all great cuts. Great cuts.
It was good cuts. We were going to add in this Bill monologue where he was going to talk about when Alice was born. And and he was going to talk about how when Alice was born, he went to he was like in the hospital, and something was wrong with the birth, and she was in trouble. She was not doing well, and Bill went down to a chapel in the in the hospital, and he was praying for Alice, and then he ran into this guy in a jean jacket going, you know, this is all just bullshit, right? And it was Wilbur Cross. and we were like, oh, he's gonna meet Wilbur Cross and he's gonna talk about Wilbur Cross. But
it went on for so long, and we said, what if this show is a giant failure? Why are we setting up a sequel? Let's cover
What does that mean? What happened then? Is Wilbur involved in Alice's?
It was just.
I forgot.
I forget what it led to, but we liked the idea that Wilbur Cross was there messing with people from day one.
That's so cool. I love that.
Mr. Davidson is what happens when you're at a company for way too long. You know, got to drive up stock prices, gotta run a tight ship, and you know, he just runs on coffee. John McNamara is a true good man. He's the best man I've ever known. He's the purest of heart, purest of intention. But honestly, revisiting this show, because he gets a glow up in Black Friday and subsequent Nightmare Time stories. But in this show, he takes a villainous turn, which is interesting to revisit now, after having experienced him as true good for quite a while.
Wasn't there a monologue from McNamara at one point? Was that in Black Friday?
You can't discuss what the monologue's about because it's now a spoiler.
Oh, got it. Never mind.
We cut it from Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals going, why does this guy come in and talk forever? And then we put it into Black Friday. And then we said, he's still talking forever. Get this out of here. And so
that one.
We'll get it.
It's so weird that it had no place in either show.
I love that monologue. I think it's awesome.
But it does have a place later.
It's it is a spoiler, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is interesting that in that video, Jeff says that McNamara had a glow up in Black Friday and subsequent Nightmare Time stories because he's forgetting what Nightmare Time stories have actually been made. Like, he knows what's coming. He also forgot Man in a Hurry, who also has a name now. You guys remember his name? Very Swift. Cinderella was interesting editing it because it was my goal to get that show under 2 hours, and the show actually is, minus the credits, under 2 hours, but then there are 10 minutes of credits because there's so many names in the
Beautiful credits.
Kurt, if you're willing, you may be involved in that.
Yeah. Congratulations. An offer is now gone out.
Market works. Kurt, I'm offering you a job on a live stream.
An offer has been made.
4,500 people watching.
Say no.
But Kurt did such an amazing job. Kurt made 2 behind-the-scenes featurettes for Cinderella. Meg is very dedicated. She's hardworking. She's so talented. We just, in Cinderella, had a passing fancy of making a joke about what if Crumb was eating a giant block of cheese and she overheard us and came in with a giant block of cheese.
Like, here you go.
Made magic. Made magic.
Meg made my severed head.
Yes.
Yes.
Big deal.
She made that. Like, she's so good.
Shout out to Meg Lloyd, an amazing animator, and made this absolutely brutal rock, like, killer animatic of Nerdy Prudes in the Sky.
Have you seen that, Will?
Oh, it's amazing. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my favorite thing.
That's
Send it to everybody.
Yeah.
Animated Will Branner.
So
I
crazy.
love it.
And
We need a full
John.
anime of it.
Yeah.
And Little
And
John.
John.
But
Little
Meg is truly a world-class talent. So get that poster now.
The patches are gonna be really cool. We couldn't do pins because there's some tariffs going on right now.
Yes.
And it's wrecking up everything.
If anyone was wondering, oh, where are the pins? Well, there's your answer.
Elections have come.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, I've been working on this merchandise for 8 months, and I was like, I'm done early. And then the tariffs came in and said, all right, redo everything at the last minute. It's a sweatshirt with a kind of Lords in Black themed Star Kid logo, and the artwork is by our sister Jennifer Lang. Yeah,
so good.
It's something that Matt and I have been wanting to have it exist for a long time, so it's really fun that it exists now.
And exists within your family. That's really special.
Yep. Jen's very talented. Jen's the best artist I know.
The next reward is a Pokey plushie at $300.
I want one. I didn't get a Wiggly. I deserve a Pokey.
So the Poké Doll is produced by a company called U2's, and they actually reached out to us. They do all of they do merchandise for some pretty big properties.
They do like Five Nights at Freddy's.
I also, just as a company, I love them because the tariffs came in and I said, okay, there goes the Poké Doll. I guess we're canceling it. But they said, you know what? We'll cover the raising
Extra
cost.
cost.
We're not gonna
That's
we're not gonna charge you anymore.
YouTube
Yeah.
is
So that
awesome.
was, they're the best.
Yeah.
That is actually really inspiring and
that is-
motivational.
The last episode of Nightmare Time 2 is called Yellow Jacket, in which
Love that show with the soccer players.
yep.
All right.
That's we made that. Charles Coven, the creator of CCRP, played by James Tolbert.
Crazy. You're the creator of the CCRP where we work in Guide on Musicals.
You're the most evil man in the world.
I'm the most evil man in that.
Well, and then I'm the most evil woman.
Yep. He's the most evil, but maybe not the deadliest.
That's our most evil.
That's coming up in a future stream.
I remember some people watched the episode and said, "Did they CGI it?" And I was like, no, of course not. We don't have any ability to do that.
I think the relationship between Bill and Alice was great. And I didn't know that it was going to become what it had become over the course of Nightmare Time and all that. So I'm interested to kind of bring the deeper knowledge of what that relationship is into the first iteration of the Hatchetfield series. I think that's what I'm really excited for.
Daddy, daddy, daddy.
Daddy, daddy, daddy. That was the most emotional video of my life. Seeing Corey when we got into costumes, like there's some pictures of us, I'm sure they'll get out that Paul took, of us as Bill and Alice. And we just like, I felt like kept hugging and being like, oh my God, like we're here together. But I was so little when we did the show. And I was brand new, and it kind of did feel like this very important bonding moment that we get to come back to, which is really nice.
Yeah, because Corey has since played your father multiple times.
Yeah, he's canonically my Hatchetfield dad. Like
The
he's
Hatchetfield dad.
If I'm a teenager in Hatchetfield with a father, it will be played by Corey Doris. That's done.
Absolutely.
And thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were working on that scene, that Not Your Seed scene, we were working on it, and Corey was going like, I don't see what's funny about this, because it's a comedy, it's a comedy. But Corey was like, am I supposed to be funny right now? What's funny about this? And I said, Corey, don't be funny. It's sad. It's terrible. But look at this terrible thing that's happening. And he went, oh, thank God. I didn't know how to make this funny.
When we were watching the interview, I was like, no one makes me laugh harder on this planet than Corey Doris. But it's because of things like that you just described. Where I'm just like, I just giggle with them, and I'm like, it's okay, Corey. We're gonna be here together, and we're gonna figure it out. I just love it.
I have a question.
So
Do you think
much.
Corey will make his own dressing room again?
Yes.
Oh my God, Corey's dressing room in Nerdy Prudes. Do you remember that? He just like took the shower room in the theater and made it his star dressing room.
No, he did it during Black Friday too.
He did?
He found a nook. He found a nook and just like made his own dressing room.
Yeah.
Corey will find it.
Diva alert.
It's because he's a great actor and he knows how to use the space.
Yes, he did.
I'm doing Little Shop of Horrors at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, the #1 not-for-profit theater in the country. It's fantastic.
That's what we do, baby.
If you're in the Denver area, get some tickets. Come see us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Will, what do you play?
I'm playing the dentist and a bunch of other characters.
Amazing.
Look at that.
Little Shop is so Star Kid coded. It's been fun. It's been like a good warm up into the summer.
Star
so
Kid
it's
is
really
Little
fun.
Shop coded.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's my favorite,
Awesome.
one of my favorite musicals. Hey, thank you so much for being here, Will.
Break the leg, Will.
Break the leg.
That's our friend, Will from work.
Bye, Will from work.
Will from work. There he went.
There
he
he goes.
goes.
Another job.
Where did Will from work come from?
I think whenever he'd
He
send a
started it.
text, he'd be kind of just like, hey, it's Will from work. And then everyone just started calling him Will from work.
Got it. All right.
A big project that I've been working on that's taken way too much of my time, but I really wanted to get it done for this stream is a Hatchetfield themed tarot card set.
Ooh.
And Nicole Rodriguez did all the artwork for it. And so we've been working on that for months. And of course the tariffs came in to ruin it. So we won't have a physical version of it, but I want to show all the artwork. And I did a thing where I wrote like a booklet for what the meaning of each card is. So I want to do a thing where we do readings for each other.
Yes!
That's awesome.
That's so fun!
That'd be fun.
That'd be very, very cool.
Yeah, so you invoke the powers of the Lords in Black and they'll tell you your future.
Oh, I'm gonna be so annoying. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be the most annoying I've ever been.
We've had some issues before. People get stuff early access and then they try to resell it, and that's not the spirit of this stuff. So please be cool about
Don't
it.
do that.
Be cool, please.
Yes.
Be cool.
One of the things we wanted to make clear, because when we were deciding to remount the guy who didn't like musicals, we were a little bit going like, are people going to now think that we're just done and that now we're just going to be running the old shows? And I don't think that's the case. We want to keep making more Hatchetfield stuff. We've got many ideas for many things to come, and we love Hatchetfield. Is this like a separate reality, or where the same events are happening in a different reality, or is it literally the same thing again?
Yeah.
Does it take place still in 2018?
Yeah,
And
I was thinking that.
I think the idea is that, yes, it's just going to take place in 2018 still.
Of course, it's a period piece. If you hop it up to 2025, there's just a series of dominoes that start falling, and nothing makes sense anymore.
Characters need to be a certain age. Like, this was something that as we were writing all the shows, because we knew we were going to do Guy, then Black Friday, then Nerdy Prudes Must Die. And then the pandemic came in and, you know, kind of killed our ability to really do them all in a row. So we had to kind of push off Nerdy Prudes. And eventually you see that we had to set Nerdy Prudes in 2020. Because...
Nerdy Prudes was also a period piece that took place 2 years in the past because we had to, because we had to have Grace be a certain age.
Because Grace has to be in high school with Alice, who is a senior in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. And
2021.
So Grace, we made Grace as young as humanly possible without it being creepy that Bill would say, try dating somebody like... All right, we just crossed $200,000.
We did it.
We did it. All right. All right. Look, we're less than 50,000 away from the
And we've got
Kickstarter
45
goal.
minutes left in this stream.
The conversation that me and Nick have been having for a year has been, no one's going to donate to this. What do we do? What do we do if nobody wants to see this?
I know
What
that
are
we
we gonna
do.
I've been for 6 months. I've been waking up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Just like, no, it's not gonna raise the money.
Matt, Nick, don't worry, look at us in a day.
Wait, so Matt, do you need to take a nap as well?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
both
think
Lang
Matt-
brothers need to take naps immediately.
I eyes burst open at 3 a.m. saying, I'm not gonna make the money. And I've been up since.
For $12 million, the Lang brothers will both take naps.
We'll both take a nap. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You know what?
Okay.
You know what? I don't know if he actually takes naps, but I imagine this next video is about a guy who knows how to nap. You know? And so let's let's take a look at another I think this is like a chill person who says, hey man, I can nap. Hey man, take a nap, dude.
Okay.
This guy knows how to nap.
I think the thing that I like playing about Ted is just how pathetic he is. You know, he's a bit of a scoundrel. He's a bit of a hound dog. He's he's a little nasty. He's a little mean. He's not quite someone you'd want to have a relationship with, either in an office or romantically.
Number 1. Wow, Ted is back. Ted has been here.
Nemo's here.
Nemo. Hello, Nemo.
This is around the time of day when he starts pestering me to feed him.
I was suggesting, Lauren and I were talking about this, if we could do a show, if we could raise enough money just for all the dogs to come see.
To be in the show.
No, for them to come see the audience, because I think that they would really enjoy it.
Sit in the audience?
Yeah,
An
the
audience.
dogs. But I don't think they should be surrounded by people. You know,
A show that is just for dogs.
Yeah, a performance just for the dogs, I think.
We've taken Nemo to a few plays, and something about Nemo is that he needs allergy shots every 10 days. He's got to get a shot in his butt because he's allergic. He's allergic to just about everything, including humans.
Yeah.
So he needs allergy shots, and when we give him a shot, we trick him into liking the shots because we go, yay, and applaud for him afterwards.
Yeah.
And so when we take him to see plays, the end of the plays, when people clap for him, he gets so excited because he thinks that the clapping is for him.
We are.
He thinks
we
everyone's
Gotta
clapping
come to
for
our
him.
show.
We are-
He's
oh
got to
my
come to our
goodness.
play for the dog
That was
show
a good
that
kiss.
I'm
That's
running.
such a good kiss.
You know, do you guys remember that Nemo came to the filming of Black Friday, and he actually for one little bit played the Wiggly doll?
Yeah, he stood in for
Right.
Wiggly.
We have footage of that, right?
There's
No.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone.
But
Celebrity.
Linda held a little dog, and she was dancing
Yes, I've seen this.
during Feast or Famine, and she gave him a little kiss on his head.
And held him up, yeah.
You know, when we first did The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, we were not yet in the practice of having understudies for our performances, and we had one performance where Lauren was unable to perform. She got she couldn't go on, and I had to go on for Emma, and it was I hated it. I remember that I got the call that it was going to happen, and I said, "This is a joke. This has to be a joke." I was so grumpy.
So grumpy.
But yeah, you know, and also in Black Friday, we had some people get ill. We still didn't have understudies in Black Friday. We didn't learn our lesson on The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, and we eventually had to cancel one of the performances of Black Friday, and we did kind of like a impromptu concert instead, and refunded everybody their tickets for that performance. And then after that, we said, okay, we need understudies for everything. So this time around, with it being a longer run, we want to make sure that every track is covered. Yes, StarKid has remounted things before. James, you want to talk about VHS?
So I know some people like to say that technically Trail of Oregon, they had their run off Broadway. So that was just kind of extension of their original run. But VHS Christmas Carols, for those of you who have not seen it, we've now done 4 versions of that show. So it started as just everyone recorded on green screens in their apartments during the pandemic. And then we did the Bourbon Room in Hollywood, and then we did the tour versions, and now we've done 2 versions in Chicago.
And it keeps expanding too. Like it went from a 1-act to a 2-act.
A 2-act, yes.
Yeah.
Clark is he's brilliant and writes such wonderful pop score for this kind of show. And I've been very lucky to be one of the directors on the show for the past 3 years. And so, yeah, we now have a full-scale 2-act musical that we've been putting on. And according to Meredith, we're going to do it until we all die.
Christmas electricity changed lives.
Yes.
It did, baby.
Yes.
They're definitely brainstorming ideas of things that we would love to do associated with this production that will kind of depend on how much money we raise, you know, because everything costs money. Like making a new recording of like the album would cost money. You know, the scale at which we're able to film the show varies.
If we told you all the ideas, I'm sure people would say, do all of them.
Yeah.
But there's just not going to be the funds to do all of them. So it's going to be a matter of, we're just going to have to see where we are in terms of fundraising and just see what's realistic. We also want to be careful not to, I don't know, promise out like too many additional projects, because that can kind of gum up the works.
We just this year had Space Baby come out. It was a project that we had been working on since the StarKid Returns campaign, which was the one that funded Nerdy Prudes Must Die. And we're still not done doing all that stuff from that campaign. We still have a podcast and a play reading
it's coming.
You know,
Cinderella's Castle did so well, but also we used all of that, and we actually went over budget. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yes, we went over budget on Cinderella, and there are some things that I think people may be surprised to learn what was not even included in the budget because, like for example, the puppets for Cinderella's Castle were not part of the budget for Cinderella's Castle. We spent all that money on the production and none of that money went to the puppets. I made the puppets. I've seen a few people, Kurt, talking about how can they watch Space Baby.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah, it's you can check it out on StarKid's website. It's available for rental on VHX, and I believe there'll be a eventual release coming later on. We'll see when that happens. Because there's a lot of projects in the works, but go check it out. A lot of cool people are involved in it, and a lot of like old folks that from past shows. And James directed a short.
Matt wrote the music.
John stars in the short. Matt wrote music for 2 of the shorts.
Yes.
And Jamie Lynn and I made it together.
It's a really fun project, and I would, if you've got, it's like, what? How much does it cost to rent it?
I think it's $10.
$10 bucks. Go and you can rent this. It's basically the pilot episode, and the whole idea was for it to feel like an old block of TV, like from the 90s, like you're flipping through channels and this bizarre alien baby learning about learning about life, and that being kind of the conceit for all of these different fun, weird, experimental little shorts that we had all these different teams making, and it's really fun.
And that's like, I think the goal with a lot of this stuff is to just be able to include more artists and more creators in the mix and more voices in the room. And I feel like Space Baby represents that. So thank you for letting us make it. It was so much fun.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I really like Jamie's performance in the show. If you watch The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, it's really fun because she kind of starts out as Wendy Torrance from The Shining and then slowly morphs into Judy Garland.
And that's her art.
Yeah.
It's great.
Jamie's like the most creative person.
Oh, she's so.
What a treasure. Yeah. She made all the props for VHS.
Yes,
We made Space Baby together.
Well, her
And then,
creativity
she's
is
such
so
an
her
incredible
own.
actor and singer. She's so good at so many different things.
Yeah, she is. It'll good to be having back in Hatchetfield on the stage.
Yeah.
It's time to put her back on the stage with us.
Yes, we actually tried to get Charlotte in Nerdy Prudes. Remember how we had everybody kind of cameo?
She was gonna have in Hatchetown.
In Hatchetown, we were going to have Charlotte be one of the people. I think at one point it was going to be Bryce was going to say until Charlotte went on her murder spree.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was going to be Charlotte, but Jamie had a conflict. We're going to have to remake those guts that come out of her.
All those guts.
Expensive guts.
Expensive guts.
We're going to have to remake them because the ones that were in the original show, remember on the last day, we covered everything in blood, in the fake blood for all the special shots.
Not gonna need these ever again.
Yeah. We
in blood.
There it goes.
Yeah, and then we threw them away.
Is the band all back?
Yeah.
Is the band all back?
The band's all confirmed.
The band is all confirmed.
Yeah. During the original guy, we had that little doorway.
No, because people would see you.
Yeah,
That's when you were just Piano Man.
Because I was like, I gotta see so I can hit all the cues and nail everything. Most of the show's just me laughing at everybody being amazing on stage.
A bit of an embarrassing story. But do we remember the one performance where in the middle of the scene where Sam is unconscious on the chair in Higgins's den, Jeff was laying there unconscious like this, and then he bolted up like that and put out his arms like he was a zombie, and he marched off stage when he was not supposed to, and everybody went, what's going on? And Jeff marched off stage, and then we in the audience heard a splash because Jeff was struck with some kind of food poisoning kind of thing, and he had to rush off stage right in the middle of the scene.
I think it might have freed up something in his sinuses because he sounded amazing. He came out and sang probably the best I've ever heard him sing.
Yeah.
You Tied Up My Heart.
Yes, when that happened, Joey and Jamie were going like, should we keep going with the scene, and then eventually we stopped the performance. We said, "Hi, everybody. We're moments away from the well, not moments, but we're about 10 minutes away from the intermission. So we're just going to take intermission right now." And then we cleaned everything up. Jeff cleaned himself up. We all did that. And then we jumped back to the scene that we were in, and Jeff came in and just knocked it out of the park.
Truly incredible. While I'm singing a little bit of Jeff praise, do you remember
Josh in the chat?
Josh in the chat?
Oh, hi, Josh.
Josh Flory!
Gosh.
One other thing that Jeff did during Black Friday, when someone had to call in sick, Dylan got sick, and which I thought this was incredible. Without any rehearsal, he sang all of his songs and all of Dylan's songs in Black Friday, and it was just insane.
Yeah, there was a night where Jeff played Tom Houston and McNamara in and Man in a Hurry. No, not Man in a Hurry. He's in the same scenes as Tom.
But
I think maybe I think Kurt's
Kurt.
Man in a Hurry.
Yeah, I remember I had to take over some McNamara lines. There was
we all came
pitched
together,
Everyone
like,
pitched in.
and everyone was like dressing Jeff backstage. It was definitely a team effort.
Jeff has some superhero moments, you know, where he pulls it together. Jeff's great, very talented.
I like Jeff.
We all like him, right?
That's pretty cool.
He can stick around.
Yeah.
He's all right.
I'm excited about not having to do anything or make anything. I'm excited to just come and see it. That's always my favorite, when I don't have to build anything or stress out about stuff. But I will be doing, while you guys are doing this, you know, the work never stops. There are other projects to work on, so I'll be doing that instead.
There are certain like logistical things that I'm curious to see play out. I think you know, like there are certain castings that now like Pete Spankowski was revealed to be the hot chocolate boy in Nerdy Prudes Must Die, and we knew that from the get-go when we wrote the show. It eventually shook down that Joey played Pete when we actually got around to doing Nerdy Prudes, and so now the idea of being able to see Pete from Nerdy Prudes come in, I think that'd be a fun thing. Although Joey was talking about this, how it's going to be Pete with a mustache.
Oh, I was really hoping, I was like, can I be Steph in that scene? But I'll be Zoe.
You're Zoe.
Yeah.
You know, my brain is going like, okay, well, what little things can we just sneak in there, you know, like going, okay, maybe during La-Di-Da-Da Day, it's not just random people coming out to dance. Maybe
we're characters.
Maybe now it's some characters that are coming out, you know, maybe there can be.
Don't give
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Max Jagerman would be crazy.
We do have access to now Max Jagerman, and we have his jacket just sitting around. So.
Wow.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'm more excited for that than to not do anything. I'm still very excited. I'm still very excited to not do anything. But and that was the first thing that popped in my mind. But to see all the new characters will that would be really
that's
cool. A more palatable, nice thing to say. So.
I'm excited about trying to fill that stage with because the El Portal is so huge. Like I'm excited to see what the production team does to fill that space. That's going to be expensive. So y'all, if you can, tell your friends about this Kickstarter campaign, keep donating. But and the other thing I'm excited for is I've been paying money for voice lessons to try to be a better singer this time around for those songs.
John, you were
I know.
You were perfect, and you'll continue to be perfect.
Yeah. You just know your voice more now, and that's exciting.
Exactly. That's true. Actually, Mariah gave me a really great piece of advice once for another show I was doing called Mamma Mia But Different.
Oh yeah, we do that together.
Mariah,
and James.
And James. Mariah was like, lower the stakes.
It's just a play.
And that it's just a play, and that actually that helped me a lot. And that's a similar note that Nick gave me when we did the first show, where he was like, just have fun out there, and
literally
helped me a lot. So,
it's simple, but it's hard to do.
Help me relax.
I think everyone has grown as performers. And I've also grown as a choreographer.
Yes.
And so, I mean, it's not the first rehearsal, but hey, I'm changing things.
Yay!
There are things from the original show choreography-wise that I'm going to keep the same, like cup of roasted coffee, absolutely staying the same. But there are some other things, and I do have to talk with Lauren because we ultimately want to match her vision for the show.
Sure.
But my intention is to change up some choreography because we've all just grown and we can do more and exist more on stage in ways that we couldn't 7 years ago. So there's a lot of really fun ideas that I want to play with. I also personally know the show a lot better. I don't know if you guys know this, but I did not see the show in its entirety until opening night. And there were certain songs I didn't hear until I was in the audience.
You bet that's true.
I have a greater wealth of knowledge of the show, so to make things a little more streamlined, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see this new version of the show.
When we first started this, my characters really felt like random characters, and now they have a sea of lore behind them.
Every character.
They have so much driven motivation. Even my character, Woman, who may appear, Woman has deep lore too. Like everybody I have has something to tell and something to experience. So I literally just from the growth that you guys said, I'm a better performer and creative, but also I have more to work with. I didn't even know this about them before. So this is kind of like you said, really like an actor's dream, honestly, to be able to have this.
We've written stuff about a lot of your side characters. We didn't write anything about the nurse because the nurse is in Clivesdale.
Clivesdale, that just hit me. She's a Clivesdale character.
We don't care what she's doing.
Don't touch her. Don't touch. You don't need anything.
Is there a Nightmare Time story just called Woman that is about woman?
We've considered some woman stuff. Again, this is going to be up to Lauren because Lauren is directing the show. So again, it's going to be what she wants it to be. I'm gonna nudge. I would love to see Dan and Donna on stage this time, rather than it being a pre-recorded voice. That's gonna really depend on the timing of everything. Because at one point, do you remember this? They were supposed to be doing it live backstage, with their microphones, and they said, "We're changing our costumes. We can't do this while this is happening," so we had to pre-record it. But if they can find some way to get Dan and Donna, I'd love to see Dan and Donna.
I'm excited to see how the audience reacts in the live show. You guys are going to be very crazy.
Well, we have to say don't say lines before, because guys, we can't. It's not a sing-along.
It's not a 3-hour show, please.
Remember, there are people
who want to do a sing-along.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be people.
Maybe we could do a sing-along show. That'd be so crazy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I definitely think. There's a balance to strike with rocking out to something and because I went to go see Wicked, and I was the whole time going like, the wizard in it.
Yeah, you were.
But I whispered it.
Paul and I saw Hamilton a few years back, and Lauren had this story too. There's something about some of these shows where you do kind of feel like you're at a rock concert, and I had to hold myself back from being like, yeah, and I'm like, right, this is a theater show.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough for this.
It's gonna be hard. Yeah.
Join us and all you gotta do is there could not be a better time than to bring back the show that started it all, the guy who didn't like musicals. Woo! I'm really excited. So please donate, because I want to see you at the El Portal Theater in Los Angeles this summer so I can reconvene with my Star Kid fam.
That was very special.
He's such a sweetheart, and I'm thrilled that he's coming into the show.
That scene where he's nice Max is the only time he's Will Branner.
Yeah.
In the,
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
him in that brief moment.
Yeah, when he smiles, it's
Yeah,
the most charming thing. When he goes, "This was really great." I like all the Hidgenses being a little bit different, because like when Matt and I wrote Hidgens, we basically just wrote him to be Doc Brown from Back to the
Which is
Future.
hilarious.
Crazy.
Because what was Will in on
Will
Broadway?
was just in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
We wrote Max to be Biff.
Yes!
So
So crazy.
So there you go.
God, it was my first Star Kid show too, and my first time meeting so many of these wonderful people was in a rehearsal room, and now they're some of my best friends, and doing these songs again is going to be an absolute blast, especially Inevitable. I'm excited for that one.
Oh my god, that's gonna be killer.
And also all the lore that's been added to the Hatchetfield series. All of that has underscore and motifs too that I think I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit extra.
Awesome.
We got that going.
I am excited to see what Matt does with now having all of Hatchetfield to pull from. Because how many songs are in Hatchetfield?
Oh my god.
70 billion.
75 or something.
Jeff said like over 7.
Yeah, there's
75 or 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Kurt. Are you excited for anything with Hatchetfield? Anything coming up this year? And I would love to have you, making involved in.
Keep offering jobs.
I'm excited to just see. I saw the show. I think I saw the show the week or
You saw it? Crazy.
I did. Yeah.
That's so special.
We actually went to dinner before. I have a very vivid memory of seeing it. So it's going to be cool to see it again, having been in the world so much and like knowing what the relationships are. And I think just getting to see you guys return to those characters, knowing what you know. So I'm excited to see you guys kill it, and maybe other things.
Who knows? TBD. We'll see.
TBD.
2 weeks ago, Wichita State did a production of Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, so I went and saw him.
How was it?
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
It was great. Yeah, it was
Wow.
fun.
That's like the dream. You wrote a show and then you saw like a production of it that wasn't the people you fucking hired.
That's one where you didn't have to do anything.
Again,
There's a
I
production.
can't stress how nice it is to just walk into the theater and to sit down and go, oh, I don't need to paint anything. I don't need to run to a store. I don't need to. It's just all in somebody else's hands.
Also, Cinderella's Castle, the gang was working until past closing.
Constantly.
Past closing,
Oh, yeah.
there were things to be done. That was crazy.
There was a group that wrote to us and they were saying, we want to change the show a little bit. They licensed the show and they wanted to set it in the 90s. I gave them some suggestions of going like, I think you should change this. I think you should do that. Like they were going like, okay, Hidgens can't have an Alexa. So they were going like, we want to change it to a bird assistant. And I said, I said, make it a monkey.
You said, riddle me this. How about monkey?
It's just Nick with the chaotic
counterpoint.
Yeah.
Make it a monkey.
Yeah,
make it a monkey.
We've
Because
been trying to get Hidgens' monkey assistant in it for
You
years
actually
now.
saw an opportunity.
It was
Hatchetfield 8-Man.
well, he had Hatchetfield 8-Man, but we actually in other stories, Hidgens does have an ape
Canonically.
assistant.
Yeah, it's a monkey that he's named Henry II that he spliced his DNA in with the monkey.
and he's trying to train it how to write write in the next one.
There's a lot of junk we've been trying to get in. Stuff it in there.
Well, everybody, it's almost 10 minutes past noon. Thank you all so much for joining us on this to kick off the campaign. What a amazing kickoff. It's almost funded.
I know.
Yeah.
In the first, 3
surreal.
hours. I'm excited to see this show and these characters live again. It was so much fun filming that Kickstarter video. And
It was so fun.
Yeah.
it's like when we were filming that scene where the camera dollies back through the office and all the characters were just interacting with each other. Everybody fell into their characters so easily. There were so many fun little bits that we couldn't include. Ted was on the phone talking up a storm. So I'm really excited to see everything live again, and it's so great, and I can't wait for the next month. A lot of people are telling me to go take a nap. I would love to, but I can't until we reach $8 million.
Yeah, $1 million.
We can do it, guys.
It's all up to you guys.
It's up to you.
No, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all of the cast and crew that couldn't be on this stream. We are thinking of them, and they're obviously here in spirit. They're all, for anyone who's at that London concert right now, I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're having fun. Yeah, and we can't wait to catch up soon, and we can't wait to have more fun streams and see how far this campaign takes us. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Bye.
See you real soon.
Peace, love, belly rub.
Bye bye. Wait, I have to do it.
So wait,
Why are we going away?
I'm gonna 1 second.